In this video, we're going to scaffold a React single-page application using React Turbo Scaffolding. We're working in Visual Studio 2017, and we've just created a React single-page application using the basic template. So we'll run the application just to show you what we've got. We'll do a debug, start without debugging. And here's our application. Unfortunately, there isn't anything here we can use. So we're going to scaffold our application using React Turbo Scaffolding along with a code-first approach. We're going to start by creating a database context. We'll just add a class for our database context. And we'll call it app.db.context. And we're just going to paste some basic DB context code into this. And we'll just take care of these using statements here. Using Microsoft.NAD Framework Core, that's fine, and they all went away. So we have a basic DB context now called app.db.context, and let's add a connection string now to our app settings.json file. And we're just going to paste a basic. So server is going to be equal to localhost SQL 2012. Database is called movies, and we're going to use integrated security equals true. So there's our connection string to our database, and there's our DB context. And now we're going to add our models. So we'll do add class again, and we want a class, and we're just going to call them models, and we're just going to create our models. So we have a public class, we've got an actor model, public int, we've got an ID, we've got a public string, we've got a name, we've got a public int, we've got age, and we've got a public string, we've got gender. That's our actor class, and we're just going to paste a couple of other classes just for the sake of expediting this demonstration. Okay, now in our pasted classes we've made use of NAD Framework attributes, so let's just take care of these using statements that it wants. So we want to select using system.componentModel.dataAnnotations.schema. And let's see, for the key here, we want to select using system.componentModel.dataAnnotations, and display name system.componentModel. So that took care of all of the issues with the using statements. So we have a more robust class. We have a movie class with all kinds of attributes here, required, display name, max length, etc. We have a movie actor table that joins our movie and our actors. We've got a genre table, and we've got a tagline table. So let's just embellish this actor class a little bit. Let's do one more thing. Let's add a picture field. And let's add some attributes here. So the ID is going to be a key, and that's also going to be required. And the name is going to be also required. And we'll add a display name here on the display name, actor name. And we'll just say that we're good here. So we've got our model now. We've got all of our tables. And now what we have to do is, let's save and then go back to our DB context. And we'll just create DB sets for our models. So we'll do public DB set actor, and we'll just call this actors. Get set. Okay, public DB set movie, and we'll call this movies. Get set. Public DB set. We have a many-to-many table here called movie actor. We'll call that movie actors. Get set. And I think we have one more DB set, a class called genre. We'll call that genres. Get set. And last but not least, we have a DB set called tagline. And we'll just call that taglines. Get set. So we have our app.db context. We've added our connection string. I think actually this connection string has a problem. We have to double delimit these backslashes here, otherwise it doesn't like that. Okay, we'll save that. And the one other thing we have to do is, with this version of Entity Framework, they want you to define compound keys up here in this onModel creating. So we'll do model builder dot entity, and we have a table called movie actor as key okay, new, and then what we have is we have an actor ID and we have a movie ID. That's our compound key in that table. So we'll just build our application, make sure we don't have any compiled error. And we have some issues going on here with this guy. Okay, we'll rebuild the solution. We're good. Rebuild 1 succeeded, 0 failed. So now we can run our React Turbo Scaffolding to generate our React views, so we don't have to do those manually. We'll right click here and we'll select Add, and then New Item, and then we'll select React TS Item Template, Add, and we'll select the model. And we want to scaffold all of our models. If we had models that we didn't want to scaffold, maybe some utility models, we could select them from here. We don't, so we'll leave that blank and scaffold all of our models. The only other thing we need to specify is the name of the database context. In this case, it's called app.db context. So we'll leave everything checked, so it'll create our models, our views, our navigation, and our controllers. And we have some results. It says that our views were created, our route to navigation were created, our controllers and our client models were created. And we'll rebuild our application. Then we'll run our application. And there we have it, a fully scaffolded application. We have our actor table, our movie table, our genre table, movie actor table, tagline table. With the full functionality here, we've got built-in sorting, paging. We can set the number of rows. And we've got built-in filtering across all columns, so we could easily search for an individual. Okay. We can even select a single age. In this case, we picked up age of 28. And validation. Okay. Details. There's our edit. And delete. And there you have it, React Turbo Scaffolding, the only React scaffolding engine for ASP.NET Core.